Hey movie fans, we're back for more Nicolas Cage month here on 5 Good Things. This time, we went with one that neither of us had actually seen before. We had heard was pretty bad. It was pretty bad as a movie.
Yes.
As a guilty pleasure movie, though, it's ridiculously fun. Josh, what is said movie?
Said movie is Drive Angry. And to be honest, I've heard of this movie.
Yeah, I
had not heard of people seeing this movie.
Yeah, I
but
bombed.
I remember seeing like the trailer for it and going, that looks fun.
Question mark?
I guess. So Nick Cage is still making awful movies. Okay, but wow, are we surprised? This was so much fun.
It knows what it is, and it doesn't try hard at all at what it's doing.
So, and we're going to go over this because this is actually our number 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we both said this had kind of like a Kung Fury vibe to it in the sense that it's so ridiculous. You have no idea what's about to happen, but you know you're on board for it. So here's the plot, this plot summary for you here. You ready? So thrown into hell for his crimes, brutal felon John Milton escapes from the fiery pit after cultists murder his daughter and take her baby. Intent on rescuing the child, Milton joins forces with a waitress who gives him her ex-lover's fire-red muscle car. In it, the two pursue the cult leader who plans to sacrifice the infant and unleash hell on Earth. However, the hunters become the hunted when Satan sends his merciless henchman, accountant, played by William Fincher, to draw Milton back to hell.
Okay, first disclaimer. For some reason, I think the sports car that they stole was blue.
Yes. Her ex-lover's car is blue, but they do end up getting a fire red.
If that doesn't scream Nicolas Cage movie,
oh my God,
I don't really know what does. It's so over the top, but that's why we settled as number 5 on this being the story, because it knows what it is and embraces it. Like, it fully jumps on board the idiocracy of what it is, and it's just like, we know it's dumb, but we're gonna make it at least a lot of fun.
Yeah. If anything, yeah, I would say that is, it looks at the story and goes, alright, so we're going to have Nicholas doing his thing as per usual.
With no freakouts. Actually.
With no freakouts. And I think that's because this is the kind of role that he loves and enjoys.
That's what he signed up for with Ghost Rider.
Exactly. And this did come out after at least Ghost Rider 1.
Yeah.
I can't confirm.
Was there a Ghost Rider 2? The story is just, the one word I could think of to describe it is just wacky. It is just ridiculous. Don't bring your brain to this movie. It is a guilty pleasure in every sense of the word, but if you really want one of those, every once in a while those are great to watch. And if you just want to check your brain at the door for a couple of hours and enjoy something that you're just scratching your head at, and you've already seen the Sharknado movies a couple times, then this is so over the top. So with the premise more or less being a car chase movie, expect the cars in the movie to be awesome. And needless to say, for our number 4 point, the cars in this are fantastic. Now, I don't consider myself a car person by any stretch of the imagination, but I was like, these are pretty sweet.
See, I'm the kind of guy, and I also do not claim to be any car enthusiast, aficionado, anything like that. But when I get bored, I'll go on to autotrader.com/classics and just look at classic cars. And that's what you get in this movie, is just tons of just beautiful,
indestructible
cars. Oh my, because they get the Charger, the Charger from her ex-lover,
the
SS. And then the SS Chevelle from what's his face, Webster.
Yeah, Webster.
And there's just and even like the car that the accountant creates to take Milton back to hell is just it's a classic roadster. It's just beautiful. I can't handle how
it's like a Hot Wheels promo. Literally Hot Wheels.
They're so beautiful.
It's Hot Wheels.
It is.
The cars are nice, considering the movie relies on the car aspect a lot and the indestructible car nature.
It is.
Thankfully, it relies on the cars more than it relies on Nicolas Cage's awful hair. Now
he looks like the lead singer of Nickelback.
Yeah. Look at this fancy car. Now, with it also being a chase movie, you want a lot of high-octane action, and this movie definitely delivers for number 3 in the action department. Basically non-stop action, but it's the over-the-top action that you like to see every now and then. It's the guilty pleasure type of action.
It is. I would agree, in the sense that, and it helps that having Nick Cage's character Milton be undead and he can't die, and at first you don't really catch on to that because they don't like come out and say at the beginning like Milton escaped from hell so he's an undead guy now. Like they don't say that out loud, and you kind of start to get some hints and you're like, what is going on with this dude? And then he gets shot through the face and you're like, oh well, there's our movie, I guess we're done. And then like you notice there's not a lot of blood coming out and you're like, wait a second. So I think the action in this movie, kind of like how I felt about the story as well, is that the story sets it up, you know what kind of movie you're in, and you know that this, from the get-go, from the first scene, they kind of set the tone, and then from there, you don't know what to expect, but you know they're gonna pull out all the stops.
Yeah, it's just so over the top. Like, if you like Dredd, wish it was funnier, and had cars,
yes,
and Nicolas Cage pretending to be Chuck Norris, and wanted them, like, just mushed, you might get part of that in this movie, along with some other stuff. Like, other than The Expendables, this is the only 80s movie that's come out in the 2000s, I think. Because this is a throwback in every sense of the word.
It's just dirty, guilty fun. You feel, you're just like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm having fun.
Like, I can't watch this too often because it's going to kill brain cells.
Oh, wait, yeah, definitely.
Leading into our number 2 point, just as much as it had a lot of action, it had so much humor. More so than I was expecting. Like, every character, I'd say, I laughed at least once.
Oh, absolutely.
And it wasn't like a movie last week with Wicker Man where you're laughing because it was uncomfortable. This one, you laugh because you're supposed to laugh. Each character is written incredibly well.
I would agree, and none of the jokes feel forced.
No, it feels like an actual dialogue that takes place.
Because sometimes in an action movie, they take everything so seriously, and then someone makes a joke, and you're like,
Like James Bond one-liners after he kills somebody.
Oh, or even like how, and I might step on some toes here, but even like in Age of Ultron, when they're making all these quits.
We talked about that recently, yeah.
Yeah, and they're making all these jokes, and in the middle of these scenes, and you can't take it seriously. And that's not the case here.
Yeah.
Like, you know everybody's having fun. You know that not just the characters they're playing, but the actors themselves are having fun. And there's just great lines. Like, Fincher has, like, tons. Oh, my goodness.
I don't think anybody was having more fun than Fincher.
He was just you could tell he embraced the role. It was just fantastic. I think we've kind of been building up to this. What our number 1 is just the characters in this movie. It make this movie fun and not. It makes you able to overlook the terrible CGI.
Oh, atrocious CGI.
And just the just bonkers wacky plot. But you look at these characters, and this is how I felt about Ghost Rider 1, and if we're talking Nick Cage, you could tell they're having fun, and they're owning their roles. And you can tell that every single person in this cast, even, I would even dare say, like, the background people, I almost feel like Nick Cage got the entire cast of the movie, along with the direction crew, and was like, hey, alright, So, this is the plot. Let's go out. Let's have some fun. Go team. And just like,
Paycheck.
Paycheck. We're getting paid.
But they actually have really good chemistry.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Nicolas Cage works with a waitress played by Amber Heard. The two of them surprisingly have a lot of good chemistry. Nick Cage is more straight-faced. She's more expressive. But she can still hold her own. She had a lot of good action and humor moments. She was a very dynamic character, a strong female character, which is getting kind of hard to find nowadays. But she represented well. She didn't really need Cage to stick up for her. And like we keep harping on, Fishner was fantastic, and Nicolas Cage was just...
I'm surprised how much I enjoyed him.
Yeah, Nick Cage was just there to be awesome and embrace the utter ridiculousness.
And I think you touched on something that we really haven't talked much, which is the chemistry between most of these characters. It is not often when I go and I watch a movie and we have our two main characters and they meet for the first time 5-10 minutes into the movie, and instantly you're like, oh, I want to see more of this. Like, this is going to be fun. I can already tell and see the chemistry here. And that's what happened here. You don't see that often. As soon as you meet her, the waitress, and then you meet Milton, and you see them kind of in the same area, you're like, oh, this I can already see this is going to be fun. It's going to be great.
It's a good pairing. It's not a good movie. It's the definition of a guilty pleasure movie. Like, it's so extreme, but extreme in a fun, self-aware kind of way. So if that's what you want to watch at some point, we both would recommend it. Now, I wouldn't go out of my way to find this movie, but if you happen to stumble upon it, it is enjoyable. Given Nick Cage's recent repertoire, this is one of the better ones out there. Well, what did you guys think of Drive Angry? Have you seen it? Have you not? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you see and you want to see more, subscribe to the channel, or find me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at 17 Movie Reviews. Stay sharp, movie guys and gals.